Even lots of us,
Oh, you're unmuted and recording.
Thank you for the question. Okay. Good. Like that. Yes, sure. Thank you so much. Bicycle for kids. No. Good afternoon. Afternoon. Let's call our board meeting to order. The governing council meeting of the Children's Services Council of Leon County on Thursday, December 18th, 2025 at 4 p.m. Here at our Children's Services 4:04 p.m. in the Children's Services Council Leon office. Opportunities for public comment are noted on the agenda and will be offered prior to any council vote. Please complete a comment card for our public and provide it to Ms. Trinity Proctor. Council members, remember to turn your placard upright to be acknowledged to speak. Before we begin, I want to welcome our newest council member, Ms. Austin Vanderlinden. Vanderlinden. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure meeting you already and getting a chance to break bread with you. Would you like to say a few words before we start?
Sure. So my name is Austin Vanderlinden. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I'm in private practice here and I do a lot of different things. Been in the field at some capacity since 2014. I graduated with my master's in 2018 and I've been practicing since. I work a lot with kids and college students. Yeah, I'm very happy to be here.
Welcome you and welcome your subject matter expertise to the work that we do here. And thank you for saying yes and availing yourself to this opportunity for public service. Next, we will have a roll call of all of our members present.
Ms. Vanderlinden. Here. Mr. O'Brien.
Here.
Ms. Richards. Here. Mr. Johnson.
Here.
Judge Hobbs. Superintendent Hannah.
Here.
Commissioner Cummings. Here. Vice Chair Watt.
Here.
Treasurer Mitchell. Here. Chair Tom.
Yes.
You have a forum.
Thank you so very much. So now I'll take a motion for the approval of the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I'll move the agenda.
Second motion. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. All right. We'll now come to consent agenda.
Mr. Chair, I will approve the consent agenda.
All right. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll second it. Wanted to jump public comment.
Well, I'm sorry, forgive me. Is there any general public comment at this time?
No, sir, there.
Okay, great. I apologize. Thank you.
I'll second Commissioner Cummings's motion on the consent agenda.
All right, we have a motion and a second on the accept the consent agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, thank you. We now have general counsel update.
Yes, sir. Thank you. The first thing under my update is page 13 of your agenda packet. It is a resolution which, if adopted by the governing council, will adopt and establish a ethics policy for CSC Leon employees. All public officials in the state of Florida are subject to the code of ethics, which is set forth in chapter 112 of state statutes. These statutes prohibit certain behaviors primarily aimed at corruption. Although the code of ethics is applicable to government employees, it is sometimes helpful at the local level to adopt policy which can build upon or simply adopt the code of ethics for employees and make it more apparent to employees they are in fact subject to those requirements. This resolution includes as an exhibit an ethics policy which was developed after surveying not only the code of ethics statutory level, but also similar policies that have been adopted by sister civil services councils and trusts throughout the state. And this does not increase the standards imposed upon CSC Leon employees by state law, but it does make it apparent what those standards are, and it would be helpful to have this resolution adopted. It could be presented to CSC Leon employees as part of their onboarding service.
Who has the information? Are there any questions or comments? Mr. Roby, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yes,
It
sir.
may just be a Scrivener issue, but is our duly adopted date if we move this resolution in October or December?
Yes, sir. This resolution was actually prepared by me for that time frame, but we can correct in the motion it's signed.
Want a correct version of signing?
We're going to fix the date of the resolution so that it reflects today rather than option.
All right, sounds great. All right, any other questions? All those, is there a motion for acceptance?
I will move that we accept the ethics policy as presented by Mr. Lund and the resolution, with that one.
I said it.
All right. The motion is that we would accept the recommendation and the resolution with appropriate corrections. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Thank you, sir. The next item appears on page 19. This is a memorandum summarizing a recent change in Florida law regarding open carry. In a nutshell, the state Commissioner Courts of Appeal has determined that the state's open carry laws pertaining to the open carry guns, namely the requirement that open carry not exist or that someone have a license in order to engage in carry, were unconstitutional based on federal Supreme Court precedent on the Second Amendment. Based on that DCA, the state attorney general has issued guidance and direction to law enforcement agencies throughout the state. Basically, open carry is now a law of the land. People can carry openly handguns, firearms, etc. There are some statutes which basically prohibit open carry in certain forums, one of those being meetings of the governing council here, a city commission, a county commission, etc. The limitation, however, is for handguns. It does not extend to all forms of firearms. That's a distinction I think statutes will be revised to address in light of this new ruling from the District Court of Appeals.
Will you explain further, this when you can bring a rifle?
Yes.
Long guns.
Yes. There is on page 23, at the back end of the memo I mentioned, a little chart which helps to summarize where open carry is and is not allowed. CSC Leon can designate areas within this facility as off limits to the public and really only for use by staff. Handguns would not be allowed those settings. If someone wanted to meet with the executive director, for instance, and they came openly carrying a gun, would not be allowed to go into the executive director's office. She would come out here to a public meeting space in order to conduct the meeting. But as you can see from the chart, it's pretty open now as far as the ability to speak. And that would extend, although it is, we have a policy where open carry is not allowed at a meeting full board, it would be allowed at a meeting of a committee, subset of the full board. Anticipate, as mentioned, that there will be some statutes that have refined and perhaps established other exceptions that are not present in this state law as now. However, to date, those measures have not been taken up by the state legislature, which will convene in January. If you have any questions about that, I'd be glad to answer.
Any questions, friends? Seeing none?
And then, Mr. Chair, I have one other update. It's not listed here on the agenda.
Yes, sir.
CSC Leon has basically initiated legal action against a receiver of CSC Leon funds that did not provide the services it contracted to provide, this being community carpentry. We are nearly at the end of the process required to effectuate service upon that group, which will enable us to proceed with the next phase, basically seeking a default judgment. We have not been able to achieve service just yet, as if the defendant is a corporation. We are basically effectuating service through the Department of State, which regulates corporations. Once that's concluded in the next few weeks, we'll be able to seek a default judgment. We have not been able to serve them. We've used a skip tracing service. They're basically hard to effectuate service upon. We're almost at the tail end, almost at the end of the service process. Expect that to resolve in the next couple of weeks, at which time we'll be able to seek a default judgment and work to the governing council when that is effectuated.
Yes, sir.
What was the name of yours? Which? Who wrote the name? Community Carpentry? Not trying to.
Is your name down?
$15,000.
How much?
15,000.
15,000. Okay.
My heart.
David Van Wood.
So if we can't find, if we're not able to serve them, then we're pretty much out 15,000.
No, what will
We're
happen
gonna
is,
get our money.
so when we bring a lawsuit, in order to give the others, the party we're suing, a chance to defend, say, I shouldn't have to pay this money,
Mhm.
serve them, they go
Right,
back and forth court. If you can't even serve them because they are no longer present or they're avoiding service, then after. So taking a certain number and
apologies.
they're required to effectuate service, you can ask the court to enter a default judgment against them. Basically, your honor, we have gone through all the legal measures to effectuate service, have not been able to. Please grant us what we're asking for in our complaint. That would be all the money that they took but did not provide services for, $15,000. Additional costs incurred in prosecuting the suit, court costs, and then that will bear interest over time. The judgment is recorded in the public records of the jurisdiction, and any property owned by the company will be subject to the judgment. The problem for something like this is the company might not have any.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. So we're out potentially. Okay, that's what I wanted to.
Ro, have we checked the local jails?
I think the service process server did.
Oh, good. Because I do know that I see, I've been following this one.
Very much so.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
so let me ask Mr. Rhodes, we could also do constructive service, couldn't we?
Yes, ma'am. In fact, I think that's what's happening through the Secretary of State's office. If it were an individual, we could effectuate constructive service by publishing in the newspaper. But where it's a company like this, you basically ask the Secretary of State to get involved. You file paperwork with them, which is what we're doing now. And once they acknowledge service has been effectively served, then we can
But
proceed.
they got a designated individual for service and process with the Secretary of State's office, right? So we haven't been able to contact that person.
That person. So, you need
Yeah, they have to
specific-
designate a registered agent. Mhm.
And the city of Tallahassee, is it the city of Tallahassee who's also pursuing?
That's right.
You just brought it up as well.
Yes.
It's the same one we discussed before, what was the guy's name?
David Van Williams.
Uh-huh. Just in case anybody out there thinking of doing business with them, I'll pick it again.
That we're in the summer program?
No.
Six.
So it's six, so it was one of the.
For the city, I think it was this summer.
Off the carpet. Anything else, Mr. Rowe? Any other questions? All right, thank you. We appreciate you, Mr. Rowe. We will now have committee reports. First of all, we'll start with the executive committee. The minutes are included in your packet. If there are any questions or discussions regarding the executive committee report, I'll entertain a motion, second to approve the report.
I'm gonna the report, Mr. Chair.
All right.
A second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any additional discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Right, it is passed. We are now at the executive director's compensation review. So. At present, tell me, Mrs. Green, present, what do we currently do for the staff?
I build in every year, 5%, 3% cost of living and 2% merit. And depending on length of stay, if you've been employed 6 months or less, you are not up for increase. It's a year or more. If you have been over, you're evaluated yearly. And receive the cost of living, the 3%, and with 80% or better, the 2%.
And I believe we discussed in the executive committee meeting. There has been 3 years since we gave you a pay increase, correct?
Yes.
So, Mr. Mitchell, we'll start with you. I'll open the floor for discussion regarding any recommendations regarding potential pay increase for our executive director, Mr. Bishop.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just to. This is the third year that. There have been 2 years that we have not provided a pay increase for the executive director, just to be clear. This, if we didn't, it would be 3. I'll tell you, I've struggled with this issue for a couple of different reasons. I think there's a fairness issue and on both sides of it. I think that the compensation package, when you compare the position of executive director to other similar positions in and around Leon County that have greater financial responsibility, not more important, but greater financial responsibility, the actual annual salary is very similar. When we hired Ms. Green, at my urging, we took the position, made it a part of the state retirement system, which is very different and far more attractive from a benefits and retirement standpoint than accounting. And so essentially, we have an agency that runs itself as a state agency. The benefits that are afforded our employees, including Mrs. Green, are as state employees. So there's that fairness side. And the other fairness side is it is not lost on anyone in this room that it's more expensive. It's more expensive to live today than it was last year and the year before. I'm hoping that will change, but for right now, that isn't the way it is. And so I was torn on that fairness side. Here's where I landed, and I would ask that all of you consider my position when you make your position now. I think it is safe to say that all of the employees of the Children's Services Council would like to remain as part of the state retirement system. It is truly a far better and I think necessarily so more attractive package. The governor has put as part of his budget recommendations a pay increase across the board for all state employees of 2%. Because these employees, including the executive director, are very much like state employees without being technically state employees. It would be my recommendation that we give the executive director a 2% increase consistent with the governor's proposal. Doesn't mean his proposal is going to be adopted, but it's safe to say that it will be adopted. And I think that that recognizes the cost of living increases that all of us are struggling with right now, and gives our executive director the very attractive package of her retirement and her benefits, her health benefits, along with the 2% increase in her pay.
Mr. Superintendent.
So if I heard Ms. Green correct, our employees receive a 3% increase annually for cost of living, and then can receive an additional 2% if their evaluation is scored at 80% or greater. Is that correct? So if we use that same criteria for our director, if I did the math right, I think she was like 0.75 on a scale of 1 to 5, would be 75%, which would then have made her eligible for 3% as other employees in the council. Correct?
We didn't come up with the other, so I'm not.
So I just took her evaluation scores and divided it by 5, right? And it was 75% of 5, it was 3 point something. So if we use that same criteria, it would be 1% more than you recommend, and 3%, 72%. That's what I would recommend.
Set a motion.
Sure, I make a motion that we increase our executive director rate of pay by 3% for the coming fiscal year.
Second the motion.
All right, the motion is second. Any additional discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of the recommendation? Oh, is there any public comment? All right. All those in favor of the recommendation of a 3% raise increase for the executive director, signify by saying aye. Opposed?
Aye.
All right, ayes have it.
If I'm correct, I think what is it, current 128? Is that right?
128, 750.
So 128, 3 is 36, 39, 3,900. A little less than 3,900. Okay. And she hadn't received one the 2 previous years at all, right? Okay, all right. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Next up, property tax elimination reduction update. Ms. Green.
Thank you. So council members, if you'll turn to page 27, you will see an executive summary as the cover page of the property tax reduction proposals that have been submitted to Children's Services Councils and Trusts. These proposals were engaged by Florida Alliance of Children's Council and Trust, which is our membership organization, and it was contracted with Florida Economic Solutions to look at initially the 8 proposals that had been forwarded, promulgated, developed by the Select House Committee on Property Taxes. So you can see the explanation there and the status of the process. Right now, there are 4 that seem to be hanging around. And the one that I was just informed will be going to the House floor at the beginning of session is HJR 209. So you have these micro simulations here, and they go all the way through page 39. While I don't normally request that you do anything during your time off, I do think it would be helpful if during the holidays you took a look at this and read through this. While the HJR 209 is the one that will go to the House floor, the Senate currently does not have a proposal yet. The governor's office, they are expecting will have one maybe 2 or 3 weeks into session. Right now, he is, from my understanding, is holding steady at a complete exemption for homesteaded properties, not holding the school district harmless. And then there's conversation going back and forth. I'm not a lobbyist and I did not stay at the Holiday Inn last night. But you can see what the impact would be to you can see what the impact would be given these different proposals to our revenue. So what I did was on the charts, I highlighted in yellow the 2024 millage rate and what the exemption impact would be, what our current revenue is. If we went all the way to 0.5, which keep in mind, if we go all the way to our maximum, it would require a unanimous vote by this council. In some cases, we could recover some of the funds. In other cases, we could generate additional revenue, would not experience a loss. So once you get a chance to review this, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me and I can do some explaining. I think the last thing I will say is that the very first proposal, HJR 201, is the, I think, most sweeping proposal and would have the most significant impact on children's services councils. And we would be looking at about a $3.2 million revenue reduction. If we went to the 0.5 mil, we could recuperate about 0.3 of that. So with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Chair Jones, in case there are any questions, I can try to answer.
I'll let you keep it. Any questions?
Motion, I assume.
Yes, Mr. Hannah. Superintendent Hannah.
This question is for Mr. Mitchell, since he kind of lives in this world. Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts are save your vacation, save your off time. And I've reviewed not just what Katrina's provided us, but others in similar positions. They're nowhere close to coming up with a decision. So it's a good use of your time if you just want to get a flavor for sort of the verbiage they're using and the concepts that they're floating around. But the leadership of the House and the Senate and the governor's office are not necessarily aligned this session. And so it's going to be a real struggle to get something like this across the finish line. I assume there will be something that passes in the end. But there was nothing that's been thrown out at this point that is anybody sort of following as, oh, this is our way to go.
So do you think the Senate's going to introduce any type of companion bill or not? You do?
Yeah. There is so much negotiation going on right now, and I think that the House did what the House oftentimes does, and they like to put their proposal, not like, they just kind of threw stuff up on a piece of paper. But it's from that point that all the discussions flow, and that's very common for things like this, that the people's chamber, the one closest to the voters, would put the first proposal out there. The governor certainly has, no proposal that is as well documented as that. He too, his CFO has one. There are an awful lot of proposals out there.
Right, well, God, we know where the governor stands on the issue, but the Senate, I didn't know if anyone was stepping forward to push something. Have you seen anything from?
Now, again, the leaders in the Senate of the majority party are not necessarily aligned either. So that really is what makes it hard for, like, the stuff that Zika put on to know, and about somewhere around beginning of February, you're gonna have a real good feeling. And it wouldn't shock me at all if we ended up having some sort of a special session where they decided to take a pass and then come back.
Fireworks.
I just say, if you're part of the process and you're planning a spring break, maybe not the best use of your money. Be able to get out.
In my other job, my other role, we seem to be okay, but for the services council, could there be a scenario brought forward where all revenue was eliminated?
So there are better legal minds that can opine on this. Here's the thing: the voters voted specifically to tax themselves. So we are a little bit different than other taxing authorities in that we were created by the voter.
Unlike city and county.
It's as clear as mud, I think, to everyone.
But at least the school system is protected in all the proposals.
Yes.
Like that. It's one saving grace.
If I may,
Yes, ma'am.
So our membership organization, FACT, has lobbyists engaged, of course, in this phase. We're hearing right now that there did not be a carve out. That's right now, though. Session hasn't even started. That there wouldn't be a carve out for special districts, because as you can imagine, all the special districts that levy ad valorem are concerned for sure. But we are kind of hovering in the background to see if there is a total elimination, what does that mean? And if there's an ability to do some other type of assessment or fee that would generate that revenue. So there's more to come, and moving forward, our governing council meetings will have a legislative update from our point of view.
Thank you for this. Any other observation? Thank you, Ms. Green. Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. This is good stuff to be made aware of. We'll now move to the Finance and Budget Committee, Mr. Mitchell.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Am I looking to? Am I looking to get a motion on the minutes from the November 7th joint executive? No.
Yes.
Yes.
Am I?
Yes.
Are they adopting them even if they weren't part of it? Okay.
They're just accepting them.
Okay. Get somebody, has everybody read the minutes? I'll say I read them, but they are consistent.
Mrs. Cummings is, Mrs.
I
Cummings
move acceptance.
Thank you,
Second.
Commissioner.
been properly moved and seconded. Any additional discussion? Hey, Judge Holmes? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Hey,
All right, all opposed? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Can you repeat for the record who was the second?
I was.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you're still the chair of this until, and I'll give you mine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's this.
Gotcha. All right, so.
Mr. Chair, I'll move the minutes from the December 10th Finance and Budget Committee meeting. Okay.
We probably move to second in discussion, no public comment, all those favors signify by saying aye. Opposed, like sign, thank you. Item financials.
Yes, I will comment on this. Our finance committee meetings came at funny times over the last couple of months. And so what you have in your backup is two things. One, and I'll speak to item 3 first, your financials through November of 2025. They're on page 45. And as long as I've got the floor, let me also tell you that item 4 is on page 51, your year-end financials. Again, the finance committee never had an opportunity to look at the year-end financials because we got them just after the finance committee meeting, only because the finance committee meeting came early this month. So I would, we put them in your backup for review. We can accept them, but what I would say to you is at the next full committee meeting, we'll be able to answer any questions and we'll have a true year-end financial report. In addition, there will be a workshop that staff is working on right now, a date that's going to, have we come up with a date? Yeah. Okay. Sometime probably in February, where everyone is welcome, but we don't need a quorum. It's a workshop. And what we're going to do is drill down into each one of the line items so that the way we looked at it is we're just talking about the legislative session impacts of perhaps impacts that the legislature may have on the money that we receive. Mr. Watts's committee that is setting sort of a strategic plan combined with any of these special needs for funding that we are going to have over the course of the next year. All of that coming together each question, each one of those has the question, do we have the money? And so by having a workshop with the finance committee, but where everyone is involved, or at least included and invited, you'll be able to see the same thing that I see when I sit down, usually with Mr. Grayson and Ms. Snyder, as we go through program by program, how's it impacting the budget? How much money do we really have left over? So I share that. I don't, Mr. Chair, I don't know if you want to take them separately, but in the backup is are the financials through November. Happy to answer any questions, as well as the year end. Happy to answer any questions, but I probably defer to Ms. Reed on that.
Any questions on either document? Is there a motion for acceptance?
I will move that we accept item 3 and item 4 of the Finance and Budget
Is
Committee.
there a second?
Second.
Been probably moved and seconded by Councilmember Mitchell and Councilmember Johnson. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, now we're at the banking institution RFP, Mr. Mitchell.
I'm going to turn this over to Ms. McPhail, who has this quickly and very efficiently.
On page, thank you, Mr. Chair, and Treasurer Mitchell, on page 61, you will find a recommendation of Select Service First Bank as CSC Leon's banking partner. We did, for the purpose of the record, we did receive 4 proposals, and the committee reviewed all 4 of them, made a motion to accept it pending clarification of how the rate would be set by Service First for the money market, which does pair with the Federal Reserve rate at an 81.25%.
I'm sorry. I thought that you repeated. They're recommending.
We're recommending to select Service First Bank as the CSC Leon's banking partner.
But it was pending some.
Right, that's what I was getting to, pending clarity of how they set their rate for the money market account.
Interest rate they pay us.
Right, and the second one that we did a review of their online portal and it met with staff expectations. We conducted that review on Monday. It did. In fact, we discovered that it had some other really cool things as well that we weren't asking for that should help create some efficiencies as we move forward. And then they did submit in writing, which is on page 63, clarity on how the MMA rate is set, equaling 81.25% of the federal funds reserve rate.
So it's now no longer pending. The information is no longer.
The information is now there, so it's now before the entire council to ratify the decision for Service First.
Mr. Chair, just for clarification, the Finance Committee liked their proposal the best. We were just clarifying that we understood that it was in fact going to pay us the highest rate of return on our money. Check. Ms. McPhail was able to do that. And 2, that it met the expectations as a bank. Like, can they do the online banking? Are we able to? And again, check, they were able to do that.
Should also make the clarification. This commercial bank and what we do with F-class.
Oh, yeah. F class, so
So that.
this is sort of your checking account. What else?
And the portions or percentages by which one has one percent of our money and the other has another.
Right, FL class is where we have the highest rate of return on, and we leave. Think of it as all of your money there. You want to get as much return as you possibly can. What we end up doing is having about a daily average balance of around $800,000 to pay the bills. Seems like a lot. If it were in our checking accounts, 800,000 is a lot. But that's how we're able to pay the bills. You want to get as high of a return as you can on that. That's more of a checking account. So every time Mr. Grayson will pay bills down in the lower earning account, and we get somewhere close to where Sika and Mr. Grayson are comfortable, we move money out of the higher return account and bring it down. So that's, you basically have a savings account, as high a yield as you can, as dictated by statute, and a checking account.
One of the questions that board member Thompson brought up at our finance committee meeting was related to the fraud protection, or
Fraud.
did we look into that? And,
We
okay,
did.
and that was part of the,
Positive pay.
there was,
Right.
that was all, that all checked out.
So they have positive pay, they also have reverse positive pay. There are several services
Okay,
that we will be able to use.
great,
This requires one.
yes.
First of all, I knew the quick turnaround that you guys had, so I think I said it before, but I think you did a great job with getting all of this going with the short time frame. And I'll make a motion that we move forward with Service First Bank. As a financial institution.
All right, we got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right.
Mr. Chair, I just want, who were we with before?
We were Prime Meridian,
Prime.
and we Prime Meridian went to a credit
You know,
union.
like they did.
So, yeah, bless their hearts, they're married too.
Very good pay.
That's 100%.
So we weren't dissatisfied just out of necessity. because-
Right.
We are getting a much higher interest rate, though. I will say that.
Yes.
So something good came of it, even if we have to lose a great banker.
Right, we got but any public comment? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Thank you. Now, we now have programming, a presentation from 211 Big Ben, Ignacio. Hello, Madam CEO.
Hello, how are you? Good, thanks. Okay, I'm just gonna try and look at it slow. Okay. Your mind, see?
I can
see. Okay. Over. Does it allow me to click the green button? Uh-huh. And so that's, thank you, got it. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kay Ignacio. I am the CEO at 211 Big Bend. I have been there for about 4 years and CEO for 1. So I'm very excited. It's a wonderful nonprofit. I appreciate again you having me this afternoon. We're just going to go over a couple highlights of our program. There's a flyer in front of you, and our website is very informational, lots of information. So we can get started here. Okay. Now try it. Okay, here we go. So this is our So there's my, there's that. Our mission is to be here 24/7 to provide emotional support and resources to our community. We cover 8 counties, but of course, our highest call volume is Leon. So we had 34,000 total people each year. We were over 400,000 minutes of caller contact, 3,000 volunteer hours, which is going to go up significantly because we've strengthened our partnership with local colleges and universities. 1,400 veteran calls, 2,400 follow-ups, 33,000 referrals, and a little over 3,000 calls for 988, which is also a line we answer. It's the suicide lifeline. It used to be a long 1-800 number. Now it's 988, and it's nationwide. Okay, so why helpline? We are the only 3-digit number in this entire region that can connect people to over 2,000 resources, whether that be mental health, where food banks are, how to get transportation, where, how to get to the hospital. We have so many callers asking those types of questions. So like I said, we're 24/7, 365 days a year. We are all local. We answer, people are up at night, 24 hours, Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's. We are happy to do what we do. So the point of calling 211 is to address the problem at the root before it becomes a giant problem. So we want people to call us if they're experiencing food insecurity. We want them to call us if they're experiencing problems with rental assistance or utilities, things of that nature. We also happen to know what resources do and maybe do not have funding. So we know when Echo's open or when they close, usually about 15 minutes, which is crazy. Same with Catholic Charities. We let our callers know, okay, these are the days you need to call. These are the times you need to call, and kind of go through that with them. So they're not just out there, running around all over the place because they're busy as well. So we try to make it as easy as possible. Our hotline counselors go through hundreds of hours of training, both crisis training and de-escalation. Sometimes our callers call very upset that they're not able to meet their basic needs, and our counselors have to have that special empathy to understand that and kind of work with them through those problems. So you have a handout in front of you. This is on one of the sides, kind of talks about how we're the central hub, and it navigates waste. Instead of having people call agencies that may not be available or not have funding, we can kind of narrow that down and get them exactly what we think they may need and what they think they need. So fostering resilience. We help people, and so when a caller calls us, they call us and get the rundown of, like I said, what's going on in the community. That saves them from calling other agencies that may not be fully staffed and may not be able to answer those questions right away. We find that to be very helpful. And it also, let me go back. It helps people stay employed, avoid missed work days, remain productive taxpayers, emphasizes temporary assistance and not total problem solving. Okay, so having people call 211 instead of 911 or any other of the various 850 hotline numbers is because we can really cut down on the number of instances to 911, the number of visits to the ER. We explain to people, they call and they have something minor happen, we can kind of direct them to the right place instead of going and calling an ambulance if they have a sinus infection. So here's some top caller needs: housing, transportation, mental health support, suicide prevention, utilities, and food insecurity. So we're really proud of these two partners. Will Help Me Grow is under our umbrella for 211, and we had a huge increase last year. And that was they come here and help do assessments of children, and they go in some of the schools, which is also wonderful. Our LIFT program is by far probably one of our most important, but also popular. We have given over 8,000 round trip rides. We have partnerships with Oasis, Healthy Start, and Disc Village. So for example, Disc Village, if they have people who have to go for certain testing, certain counseling, they can call their social worker can call our special lift line and set up all those rides for them. And that's in conjunction with Oasis, with Disc Village. Oasis, kind of the same idea. They have people on staff that can call us and set rides up for their women and girls, counseling meetings, things like that. So it's been a really great partnership. So as you can see, transportation is critical. Through Healthy Start and the CSC, we've given over 2,000 round trip rides to maternal health appointments and childhood appointments. It goes through the children's first year, and that's 138 women served so far, but we're still going. It's
That's a great move.
We also have a veteran support line. We have a veteran on staff, and he answers the calls for the veterans. He calls them back and makes sure they're advocated for, make sure their families understand they can also call 211 and ask veteran questions. He is very well versed in the veteran scope of everything. He's in the community 3 days a week, and he's out making calls and connecting, which is really important. So 70% of our callers seek help for basic needs, which is, they're hungry. They can't pay their rent. Well, of course, when you're under that type of strain, there's got to be other stuff going on. And we're that ear to listen to families and people who are calling that have that incredible stress on them. We have a free resource directory on our website. It's the same as if you call. Some people may not feel comfortable calling. So you can go on our website, 211bigbend.org, and you can put in search terms, or you can click on many of these highlighted subjects and get the resources that are needed. So we collect real-time data for our community. We collect caller numbers, demographics, everything you can imagine. Our reports are very, very extensive. We share those with the city, the county, the CSC, and any other UPHS and our other partners as well, just so they know what's going on that month. So for example, we have this also on our website. It's a community dashboard. So this is from, you can see November 1st through November 30th. And this is exactly who called us, which is wonderful. We've really come a long way with our website. And you can see in November, unlike housing normally is 40%, it was meals and food because of the SNAP benefits. Yeah. So we partnered, DoorDash gave all of their partners in the country free delivery in November. So we really took advantage of that. We delivered 1,000 Second Harvest food boxes to families either without transportation or without means to get to a food pantry. You cannot take a lift to a food pantry. You can't line up for it. A lot of times you have to be in your car. So that cuts out a certain demographic. So we were able to deliver 1,000 meals, and also with Second Harvest and Kaiser University, the day before Thanksgiving, we delivered 4,000 meals, which was very exciting. So you can see here, this is our top 10 referred services, Catholic Charities, ECHO, our LIFT program, Second Harvest. And rent payment assistance was up there as well, which is typically our highest call volume.
So for the first one.
The first one was the agencies that we refer to, because Catholic Charities does utility and rent and other services. So they're usually our top one that we refer. And then it says LIFT because we transferred a LIFT line if someone calls 211 needing that. People in the community can call 211 for LIFT, but they only get one ride per month. That's it, unfortunately, unless we have a partnership with somewhere. We try to figure out if they fit in one of our partner buckets. And veterans get 5 rides per month round trip. The graph basically saying the same thing. So I don't know if y'all have heard, but we have a mental health crisis with our teens and children, with access to social media, things that are online, and we have seen callers as young as 10 calling us. Yeah. So this is some suicide statistics. We do answer 988. 988 is nationwide, which is wonderful. And there's okay. So this is from floridahealth.gov. This is self-harm among high school students 2019 reports. So you can see they were feeling sad and hopeless, the first one. And I could not find more current data, but I would venture to say it's probably a little bit worse than this, according to the callers that we have. So 211 emergency response. We partner with the OEMs of all the counties that we are partnered with. And when there's a hurricane or a disaster, for instance, the SNAP benefits, we're able to step up right away. The emergency services knew what we were doing. All of our partners knew what we were doing. They're able to send us those people directly to get help. We can give anything from evacuation zones, where to go, where not to go, what shelters take pets, what shelters don't. You know, people are panicking in that moment. We didn't have a hurricane this year, which is great. But the year before that, during Helene, we actually started a partnership with Airbnb. We were able to house 80 families in the Madison County area that had nowhere to go because their homes were wiped out. Also, we still have that partnership with Airbnb now. It's focused on disaster, fire related. So if you know anyone that has had a fire, please send them our way. We can give them an Airbnb voucher for 28 days, which is wonderful. They've been a great partner. So how to help? Spread the word about 211. Many people don't know about us. We are here all the time for anyone who calls, non-judgmental, empathetic, all of those good things, and we can get people connected to the resources that they really need. So, and
Go. Is that it? Okay.
yes, that's it. I have lots of other stuff, but I didn't want to take up too much of your time.
Well, thank you very much. do you have a handout of what you just did?
I can make one.
Can you? Yeah, my eyesight is, it's not as good as it used to be, and that was good information. How far west does, 211 of the Big Bend, what county is your furthest west?
Taylor, Franklin, Liberty, Washington,
Washington, all right.
kind of thing.
And to the, I was trying to get a picture to the east. Did you say Taylor?
Mhm.
Okay,
Madison.
all right. What's your annual budget?
Our annual budget is $2.4 million overall.
Okay. Where does that come from? Is that,
So Helpline 211 is not, does not have, it's not fully funded. So if you look at all of our other agreements and contracts, we have state contracts. That's probably about 60% of our of what we have. However, you have to keep in mind, Help Me Grow, Florida Helpline, both have, we can't just use that money for, you guys are aware of that, for whatever we want. It has very strict parameters, very strict, it's reimbursable. And it's very, we don't have unrestricted funds in that way. So Helpline 211 is what we are trying to get out there more and get more support behind.
so in addition to those funds, I know you raise money privately. How does that go?
It goes, okay, I'm gonna have a percentage right here. We have, donations is 5% our budget. We have had a hard time getting donations. I've tried everything from wearing a phone costume downtown for outreach to, trying to beat the bushes and get the community more involved with fundraising. It's been a struggle. I'm not gonna lie. So that's been, we do have a one annual event a year. That brings in a little bit, but it's been.
One final question, and that is your contract with them. Is that something you guys negotiate, like best deal going sort of thing?
It started with Ride United and through the United Way, and we applied for that grant and we got it in 2019. Since then, we are not funded through the United Way at all. We apply just like every other nonprofit in Tallahassee. So we still use the Ride United program, even though it's not being funded by United Way, by pulling in dollars from the county helps pay for some of that. And then other than that, that's why there's only one ride a month. It is through our special programs, Oasis, DISC, and Help Me Start.
Thank you, by the way, for your presentation.
Anyone else?
Oh, Mr. Chair, just briefly,
Yes.
I had there's an opportunity to meet with Kate, and was a great eye opener about all the services that they provide in the community. We appreciate you guys, and of course, I've been spreading the word, and people that come and meet with me periodically in need and what have you. We've certainly done that referral, so we appreciate all that you guys do.
You cast a pretty broad safety net. What's the relationship with 211 national, or is it, how does that function?
It's really interesting. So nationally, it's called Inform USA. And so there's 11 211 centers in Florida. About half are right underneath the United Way umbrella. So the United Way and 211 are all in the same office. They work all together. We are independent of that. So nationally, there's not, surprisingly, unfortunately, there's not a 211 national. Inform Florida is what we abide by. It's taxonomy. It's how we have all of our great resources that are in order a certain way, and our call volume and calls handled and things like that. But unfortunately, there's not really a national 211 at this point.
Mr. Chairman, sorry, I've got it. Oh, I'm sorry.
So you're good. Of the data that you had, I'm assuming that was all of the counties that you serve?
The data I went over was just Leon
That
County.
was just Leon County, okay. Do you guys track like how many are repeat?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then is there any, do you guys, I guess, how do you help? And maybe you don't, I don't know, but like not enabling.
Yes, so it's funny you ask that. So when someone calls, you mean like, can you give me kind of just so I know?
So like, um, going in, giving these people resources and then not teaching them how, like, or like saying, okay, this is the next step, we'll help you here, like with the housing, you know, like
Yeah, yeah.
that, like, is there a, maybe there's not.
Here.
Yeah, like, is there,
Episodic engagement, is there plenty of?
instead of like saying like calling every month, hey, I need help, are we setting people up, and or maybe it's not you, maybe it's like, is there a way to actually help people make the change?
Yes, so what we do is we try to refer them to places that will actually help them.
Okay.
So we know every single resource and every single parameter that would work for that individual when they call. So when someone calls, our hotline counselors are on the line and they're going through, okay, what's your zip code? You know, all of this information. And so as they're talking about what's going on with them, we make sure we can pull up things that are for them. So it's not just this general idea.
Okay.
And we do have an advocate that does reach out to people that keep calling for housing or repetitive callers, trying to help them figure out, have you called? Who have you called? Who have you spoken to? What are you trying? Kind of that kind of thing, but we only have one advocate on staff.
Okay.
What else?
Yeah.
Just do it.
Follow, the county does something, but are you all eligible? Do you guys go to the UPHS process?
We
You
do.
do? Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
actually,
the
CHST, it's different now because we are a line item in the city budget. And also in the county budget, and
Right.
that goes to lift. So we do not apply for UPHS dollars.
Okay. Because of the line items, okay.
Getting to Councilmember Vanderlinden's point. When I first came on board, the city, the county, United Way under a different CEO began discussions on a community information exchange, which gets to your point, more of a closed loop referral system that allows every provider that is in the system to know what's going on so that when persons call, they aren't having to give information repeatedly to different providers, but there's more of a warm handoff and really a follow-up. So under her leadership, they have changed the platform at 211 that allows for expansion into a community information exchange. So at some point, probably during next year, the county, the city, us, United Way and 211 will begin talks to see if that is possible. One of our, not agreements, but one of the ways we work with the county and the city.
MOUs.
Yeah, through our MOU is to investigate the feasibility of the development of a CIE here. Very similar to what San Diego has. San Diego has a very robust system whereby all providers have an MOU to be a part of that system. So no matter where a citizen enters, whether it's the fire department, the hospital, or urgent care, a provider, they are able to pull up information, see what services they're receiving, see if there is something that is derelict in the way they've been operating, and get them directly to the services that are provided. Close that loop so that we aren't in fact enabling, but rather doing a case management function. And that is what 211 is not able to do. While they do some follow-up, as Kay has said, with that one advocate, it is not a case management system. So we are in continued talks to determine how that can look, how that partnership can look, and what kind of money will be involved to do that.
When's your annual event?
February 19th.
Okay, and what is it?
It's called Night of Hope. It is a casino theme. It's a lot of fun. We give out funny money, and it will be held at the Monroe this year. They're closing for us and have given us a really great deal.
Great. All right, Bob, I want to thank you for the stewardship of our investment through Healthy Start, providing the lift program for our mothers. I remember that discussion. Well, when we provided that funding through the Children's Services Council, so thank you. And then you report back to us when it's been that impact. So congratulations and thank you for the great work you do. Any other final comments? Mrs. Massey, thank you for coming and joining us.
Good afternoon, guys.
All right, friends, we are at the end of our meeting. A couple of announcements. Our next executive committee meeting is going to be Wednesday, January 7th at noon. Finance and Budget Committee meeting will be Wednesday at 1 p.m. on that same day. Then our next governing council meeting is going to be Thursday, January 15th. Are there any final member comments? I want to acknowledge two titans, two champions for children, Mr. Sean Gordon, President and Executive Director of United Partners for Human Services, of which I was one of its founders some 20 plus years ago. And of course, the unsinkable and the inimitable, Miss Brooke Bruner, the Director of Early Learning for Leon County School District.
And the newest member.
Who
of
now
the-
serves on the
Coalition.
EOC.
Yes. And to all of our staff who are present, thank you so very much. And to all of our members, to each and every one of you, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. And other.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. January 28th or the 29th, speaking at the Early Learning Coalition, their annual gala, Color Me Blue, which is the kids art show, but has a great silent audience. Some amazing sponsors, many of whom are sitting around this table, is at Goodwood. I will make sure that each one of you gets an invitation. Please come out and enjoy the evening. It is obviously for a good cause, and that's the Early Learning Coalition. But it would be good to see all of you in a non-CSC way. So
Not by pie.
I know, no, it's very casual. Blue. Color me blue, and so wear a blue shirt, wear a blue tie. Yes, no black tie.
Anyone else? Ms. Vanderlyn, thank you so much for attending your first meeting and welcome to the council. To everyone, happy New Year. We stand adjourned.
Let's look at the bites. I'm already.